Hello. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you for joining me. Everything sounds good. I'm just gonna get you introduced. I went ahead and went live because if I don't start the live, Facebook will kick us off. And so I wanted to make sure that we got it recorded. So I'm gonna introduce you and then we'll jump right in, okay?
Okay.
All right. Today we are going to be talking about self care with Sherri West. She is the creator and owner of the Therapy Bar. She launched this in an effort to create a space for self care and relaxation. She's passionate about finding ways to invest in herself by practicing a holistic approach. This holistic approach means taking time out to heal the mind, body, and soul. The Therapy Bar is a home based business, and all of her candles are handcrafted with quality wax and wicks to meet the needs of all candle lovers. Sherri takes pride in making candles that will give individuals the opportunity to sit back and relax with a romantic dinner, reading a book, meditation, yoga, or a nice bubble bath. I like all of the above. And the true essence of self care is creating a magical moment of tranquility with an amazing scented candle, healing the mind one scent at a time is Sherri's ultimate goal. And tonight she is my guest, and we are going to be talking self care. And right now, who doesn't need some self care? Because we have been bottled up and in the house for way too long, and we need to get freshened up and back to it. So, Sherri, thank you so much for being my guest tonight. Why don't you go ahead? I know I introduced you, but I want you to just tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay. So once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity to come on live with you. So my name is Sherri West. I am an owner and creator of the Therapy Bar, and I am passionate about helping busy professional women understand the importance of self care, relaxation, and wellness strategies. Because I'm a full time registered nurse, so I know what it looks like on both ends when people are not investing in their self care. They may have health issues, and some of these things that we are going through in our life can be preventable if we take the necessary things to do now to invest in our self care. So that's why I'm so passionate about self care, because I see the need that we are lacking the ability to take care of ourselves and invest in ourselves. So that's why I'm so passionate about self care and relaxation, and that's what prompted me to start the Therapy Bar, which is I sell amazing aromatherapy candles, and it's very therapeutic when you relax with an amazing aromatherapy candle.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny is I'm just so nosy because I be looking for guests. So I be going around just looking and seeing what people are doing. And I came across your page and I was like, wait a minute.
Hmm.
I was like, I love what you are doing. It is awesome. And then to find out that you do this all handmade and you make soaps too, right?
No, just
No, you
candles.
okay. For some reason, I was thinking you had made soaps, but maybe that's just something that I saw that, and maybe it was the candles that I saw that you were doing, and it looked like
It
soap. It was just
probably You're probably thinking about the wax melts. They
okay.
probably look like soap, but it's wax melts that you can put in a wax warmer.
Okay, there you go. But I know my mom, she loves candles. She's big on candles. And so we have all kind of different candles. So we're gonna have to reach out and get some candles from you too, because we love the smell of candles and scents. It's just so good. But when you mix candles and the aromatherapy and the self-care, it is so relaxing. And so you mentioned something that's very important. So I want to just say thank you for your service and being a nurse because right now it's very trying times,
It,
and you are so correct when you talk about the self-care, and I know you see it firsthand. But what actually like hit you that, hey, I got this talent and I'm gonna mix them together and I can serve these women on all types of levels?
yes. Well, it all started like one summer when my son was he was away for the summer, and I was so bored because I'm like, what am I gonna do with myself? So I started searching online, and I'm like, I can find something that I could do to preoccupy my time, so I won't be thinking about my son the whole summer. So I ran upon this thing, like candles. I'm like, wow, I can do that as a hobby. So when I was doing it, I was going through like a rough spot in my life, in my personal life, and it was very therapeutic and healing for me to make these candles, instead of going to do something to um fulfill whatever the need. Sometimes we do things that are not healthy. So I
Hmm.
felt like if I did this hobby, this would take my mind off of what I was going through at that period in my life. So when I started making these candles, it was just like it gave me a sense of just an awakening to invest in myself, to um love myself for who I am. So it was a time that I was able to sit back and just learn a craft. And when I learned that craft, I'm like, wow, I can turn this into a business. And it was a journey, like when your hair goes through a journey. This was a journey for me because I actually was healing myself as well. So when I came up with the name of Therapy Bar, it was so fitting because I feel like we all need therapy. There's multiple steps of therapy that we need in our life that can help us to push us and propel us to the next level in our life. And therapy, the candles did that for me.
Yeah, and you know what? You went right into what I was going to ask you next. Like, how did you come up with that name? Because I'm just like, that name is so awesome. Because when you think about a bar, a lot of times people go to the bar and they drink or they have a good time, and but who thinks about a bar to relax? And I mean, that's on a whole nother level. Just when I think of the therapy bar, it just makes me feel like a place that is just somewhere where you can just relax and, like you said, read a book or have a nice dinner. And you don't necessarily have to be in your shop to be in the therapy bar, but if you have your products and you are using those, mixing them with the dinner and the bath or the books, reading, that is just like you're in a bar and you're having therapy and you are healing yourself, and it's
Hmm.
very therapeutic. Now, I agree with you. When we are going through things, that is the time when important things are born in us. And what I've learned is our clients are ourselves. We are our first client. And how can you minister to someone else? Because what you're doing is definitely a ministry in healing people holistically. How can we minister to others if we're not ministering to ourselves first? Can you talk about the importance of taking care of self first and how that helped you?
Well, I think it's so important to have a self check with yourself, what I call a self assessment. When you get down and you have a come to me moment with yourself, it's so important because you have the time to get clarification. And I feel like sometimes we're so busybody that we forget to stay still and just to realize what it is that I need to make improvements on. And when you have a spirit of stillness and you can write, and I would suggest anybody to get a journal, a memo pad, or whatever it is, and start writing down what are your goals, because we need to have some goals in life. And every year should be a different year, should be a different month, should be a different date. There's no way that you should be the same person that you was 5 years ago. Each day you
Wow.
should be propelling to elevate your mind, your body, and your soul. And I have what I call 5 self-care pillars. What that is you got to take care of your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, your spiritual health. And those are some of the things that I feel like we all need to work on, because self-care is more than, just getting a pedicure and getting a massage. We got to take care of our minds, bodies, and our soul. And if that may mean you need to work on your emotions or your mental health, that's a part of self-care. If you need to work on your finances, that's a part of self-care. If you need to work on your spiritual walk in life, that's a part of self-care. So self-care is more broad. It's not like it's one thing, it's multiple things.
You are absolutely right. And I'm glad that you put the financial piece in there as well, because in order for everything to be grounded, you have to work on them. And like you said, it's a part of self care. We sometimes get down on ourselves because of finances, and that can cause depression and anxiety and lead to us to being upset because it's like, oh, I can't afford to get things that are therapeutic to help me. But seriously, you just taking the time out mentally can put you in a whole different mindset to focus to get your finances in the right place to be able to do that. But if you aren't taking care of self and if your mind isn't focused and in the right place, none of those other things are going to be. And I'm glad that you mentioned the emotional part, because I just made an emotional awareness video that I'm putting out. I was going to put it out earlier today, and then I got busy trying to do some other stuff, but it's just about how to get in tune with your emotional awareness and how to look at those things and realize that you're not your emotions. And if you can get those things in line, that's part, like you said, that's part of self-care. And so it's so important. So tell me, how do you um withdraw from your day to day? Because I know with everything that's going on and being a nurse and seeing all that you see, it's got to be stressful on some level. So how do you disconnect from that and include that self-care in there? How do you manage to continue to make sure you find time for your self-care?
Well, I learned how to set healthy boundaries. I set healthy boundaries with my family, with my friends, and with my job. So I say no with confidence. And when I mean I say no with confidence, if somebody asks me to do something extra and I know I'm tired and exhausted, I will say no with confidence. And that goes for my son, it goes for family members, and it goes for my job. If they ask me to work an extra shift and I'm tired and I know I've worked my set amount of hours, I will not pick up any other shifts and I will not work overtime. So I give myself the ability to rejuvenate my energy, refuel my soul. So I'm not a workaholic. I will do what I need to do when I'm there when I'm working, but when I leave my job, I cut it off. I shut it off. I'm not doing any extra work. I'm not receiving any extra calls. I will not work on call as a nurse. I will not do anything extra that's going to impact my family life, my personal life. I have to have boundaries. And when I set those boundaries, that give me the opportunity to invest in self care.
You know what? That is amazing because us women, especially us minority black women, we
Hmm.
find it hard to say no sometimes. We think
Hmm.
we have to do all things. We think we have to take care of everybody. And ourself is usually the last person that we take care of. Can you
Hmm.
please share some tips on how to set healthy boundaries for yourself and for your others around you, including your family and your job and your children even?
Yes. Well, you know what? It's about communication. So when you lay the rules down and you tell people up front what you stand for, either they're gonna like it, they're gonna love it, or they're gonna be mad. And it's okay for them to be all three. At the end of the day, I'm concerned about me, and you should be concerned about yourself. So if you love yourself the way that you say you do, you will start saying no with confidence, and it starts by doing it. And when you do it and you make it a habit, then you won't feel bad about it because sometimes people, and I've learned it because I had to go through it. You know, I used to be the yes person. I'll do it. I'll volunteer, knowing that I'm deadbeat tired, knowing that I'm exhausted. But I turned my yes into no, and I had to do that because I had to be able to give myself the ability to refresh my mind, refresh the energy that I was being depleted of because I was saying yes so much. So when I started turning that yes into no, I was able to be able to have time to, go on a vacation or, do a getaway because I believe in investing in myself. I believe in honoring myself. Believe in celebrating myself. And I do that by setting those healthy boundaries with anybody who are connected with me.
Absolutely. That is beautiful because sometimes we get so scared to say no, or they're going to be mad at me, or they're going to get upset, or they're going to think that I don't care. But being in a healthy mind frame means that you can be better for somebody. And if you are wearing yourself out, and if you're steady constantly pouring out to others and never pouring into yourself, you don't have anything left to give. And I love how you say no with confidence. I'm taking that. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put it in my back pocket, and I'm gonna learn how to say no with self-confidence, because sometimes I say no and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it anyways. Because I just feel obligated sometimes, but I've been learning, and practicing mindfulness has helped me tremendously with being able to set those boundaries. But I think sometimes we think that we're being selfish. And what I do know and what I have learned is self care is not selfish. Because
Yes.
when you get on an airplane, and we all know this, what they tell you to do first, put your mask on first, be able to take care of yourself first before you can help someone else. Because if you don't, you're not going to be any good. And so I just love the fact that you have figured this thing out. Have you wrote a book about this,
No, you know what? I probably could have a mini series or something.
Yeah,
I have not
yeah.
had any books or anything, but I do have an ebook. I have a journal. It's for busy professional women. It's on my Instagram, LinkedIn, Linktree. It's a busy professional self care journal, and then I also have I think it's a ebook for mastering the art of self care, and that's also on Instagram in my link tree. I believe it's the third or second link in my link tree. But
Okay,
those are the two digital things that I have so far. Um, ebooks and then a e-journal. So
okay,
those are the main two that I have. And then my main focus, like I said, is the aromatherapy candles. And then also what I've started doing is having these every quarter I want to do like meetups with the ladies. Just a small group of ladies to have like a just a self-care, what I call a self-love experience. So I am coming up on September the 18th. I'm having a self-love experience, and it's going to be like an outdoor picnic experience. The first one I had was out on the beach, and it was like a luxury picnic where I had a group of women. We all came together, we ate, we had a nice time, we had music, and it was just a very joyous occasion because these women had, their mothers, their wives, they have kids. So they wanted to get away and have a night of just relaxation. So that was one of the things that I love to do. I love to host, and I love to just empower women to take better care of themselves, because sometimes we need to ask for help. We need help. And sometimes you can't be always be the one giving, giving, giving and not receiving anything back. So I think
yeah.
it's so important to ask for help as well.
Now, sometimes they say, can you say that louder for the people in the back? But you know what? Sometimes it goes right over the people in the front's head to the back. So we need to say that louder for the people in the front. You need to get this, because the ones that are on the front line, the ones who are putting themselves out there, they need to know how important they are and how important it is to take care of self. Because especially those who are in healthcare as well, you see it firsthand. And just to know that COVID isn't the only thing that is affecting us right now.
Right.
We are so focused on COVID, but there are so many other things that are depleting us and that are draining us, and that just have us in a place where we don't take the time out. And I just love the fact that you have now, where you live at, where you from?
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, see, you in a good place with palm trees and sandy beaches, and I just love that. I live in Indiana, and we don't really have that. Now, my daughter just went to school in northern Indiana, and they have some beaches up there. So I try to get there as much as I possibly can. And it's just a wonderful thing to just be able to get out, get your hair down, relax, and just unwind. And so that's nice that you do that. How often do you do that? You say you got one coming up in September, but how often do you usually do something like that for
Well,
the ladies?
I quarterly, so I try to do it. This was like my second, actually the second one that I've done. So I want to keep it like a trend. So I wanted to become not too big where it's out of hand, where I can't control it. What I just wanted to be like a small group setting, an intimate setting, so I can be able to communicate with the women and we can have like a nice event. Where we won't feel like all smothered, but we'll be in an area where we can just connect and just a down to earth girl talk.
That's awesome. Now in September, I've got a retreat coming up. It's the end of the month. I want to do a mindfulness retreat, and
Hmm.
it's going to be virtual. But I definitely would like to partner with you sometime and see if we can mix the two together. Maybe do something virtual since you're in Florida and I'm here, and then we
Hmm.
can maybe bring those two things together. Even if you wanted to do yours outside online virtually, and then I could do one here virtually, and we could connect these women that way. Because I know you are want to do yours intimately in that way, just have a small connection. But if we do it online, then we can
Hmm.
open it up and it can still
Yeah.
be intimate. But I would love to partner with you on something like that, because that way women can find out more about your candles from other places other than where you are. Because do you ship your candles or?
Yes.
All right, all right. See, so you don't have to live in Jacksonville to get these candles and to get this therapy. You can get it virtually, and you can reach out to Sherri. Sherri, how do people reach out to you and contact you?
So my website is www.thetherapybarcandles.com, and I'm on Facebook, The Therapy Bar. LLC. And on Instagram, it's at the Therapy Bar Candles. So I'm on my Facebook and my Instagram, and then I have my website, which is what I stated before. So I have it online e-commerce store. So everything you can look at my website
Yes.
and you can purchase, and you can, and then once you make your purchase, then you'll get it shipped directly to wherever you want it to be shipped to. So that's the neat thing about my company is it's online.
Okay. Now, Sherri, have you always been into self care?
Well, you know what? Before I started Kindles, no, I was not doing what I was supposed to do regarding self care and just taking care of myself. And I knew, you know how you know something, but you just don't do it. So after I started on my journey of making candles, that's when my self care journey for myself started. So I I'm so grateful that I started, making candles because it allowed me to heal internally. And when I was healing, I had set boundaries for myself, and it allowed me to love myself in that moment of, just being single. So
Yeah.
I learned to appreciate just being single, and being alone is not a bad thing. Being by yourself is not a bad thing. So sometimes people feel like they have to be in a relationship. I have to be, hooked up to somebody. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be with anybody. Sometimes you need that stillness and that ability to heal internally from whatever baggage that you had previously, because sometimes you when you go hopping, rabbit hopping from one situation to the next, you end up bringing more baggage and more problems and issues, so it doesn't resolve anything.
Now, I'm glad that you brought that. You are like on point, girlfriend. You are on point with everything because you can just tell. You can tell just through your voice that you are a naturopathic healer as far as just in the soul. And who was Sherri before to Sherri now? What type of person was Sherri compared to the Sherri now?
Sherri before was like I'm an introvert. I don't really like to be, I have my moments where I want to be out, and then I'm more like of an in-home homebody. So I was, kind of timid. I didn't want to, I was saying yes all the time and not telling people how I truly felt. Now, Sherri, today I am more confident, and I say no when I feel like I cannot meet whatever obligation or whatever event. I don't have to be at every event, and I can tell people when I don't want to go, and I'm not certain of how they feel or they in their feelings, but I don't really care at that point. So I feel like, it's teaching me to increase my confidence level as a woman, and to be bold, and to live life in with intentionality and with purpose.
Intentions and with purpose, girl. That's it. That is so it. And I think often we don't do that. We don't live intentionally. We just live to be living because we think that's what we're supposed to do. But what I can see of you, because I didn't know the Sherri before, but the Sherri that I know right now, you are empowered, and you just make me feel empowered just talking to you about this, saying no with confidence, girl. I'm still holding on to that. Holding on to the saying no with confidence, because sometimes we beat ourselves up about that, about taking the time out for ourselves, about taking the time out. And what I've learned to do is go in my bathroom, run me some bath water, put me some bath salts in, turn the lights down low, and lock the door. And I might be in there for an hour or two. And
Hmm.
my kids and my husband, my family knows now that when
Hmm.
I go in there, that's my me time. And
Yep.
I meditate and I relax and I just sit there and I get myself back centered,
Hmm.
because I'm a movie person. I move a mile a minute. I can't stay still. And I've had to learn how to calm myself. And
Yeah.
that's what I like about when I came across what you do. I was just like, it just seems so relaxing. And so I'm just into this relaxation thing. And sometimes we get caught up because right now, self care, everybody's like big on self care. And it seems to be a fad. Do you think self care is a fad? Do you think it's just for right now?
No, because I think people realize, now with the shift that's everything happening in the world, they know that life is of value. So they're gonna really take the time to More people are exercising, more people are trying to eat more fruits and vegetables, more people are trying to get centered with, just mindfulness, stillness, and taking care of themselves because can be taken away in a moment, in an instant. So I feel like this has been a wake up call for everybody to get your mind right, get your physical, health right, and whatever it is that you got to get it right because this is the time to do it. It's just not time to be playing around. It's time for you to, get on the track and start running.
Yeah. Now, do you do any speaking, or do you just is therapy bar a hobby for you, or is this a business, or and do you speak? What do you do with what you're doing right now? Because you just seem so motivational to me.
Well, yes, it's definitely a business. I have my LLC and it's definitely a business, but I don't really do a whole lot of speaking. I do a lot of like interviews and collaborations online, but I don't really do a whole lot of like speaking engagements. That's probably something, in the making. But, I just need to make sure that I have time to be able to do it all with, what I have going on right now, working full time.
Absolutely. Well, I could definitely see you are a great encourager, and I believe we are sent here to serve, and we have a purpose. And sometimes we don't know what that purpose is until we get to a point where we're broken. And
Hmm.
once we're broken, that's when we start to mend and heal and start to have self realization. And you said something that was very important. You said you took time to get to know who Sherri was. And all too often, we are so caught up being mothers and wives and sisters and daughters and business women and nurses. We have all these titles and these hats that we wear that we don't ever take the time to look inside our inner self core and really get a relationship with ourselves. And I mean, that's important. Can you just tell people again how important that is?
Yeah, I think it's so important to have a relationship with yourself. It's so important because then you know what you want, what your expectations are. So when you know what you want, then you can expect that from others. So you don't have to settle for less. And sometimes we all settle, we all have settled for things that we know we should not have been involved in. We should have not entertained. And sometimes we that can teach us and propel us to know that you deserve better. You deserve to be treated like kings and queens. You deserve to be able to, tell people how you feel. And if they don't like it, that's not the person you need to be with. And that's not the person that you need to be hanging around and entertaining. So we all have that intuition, and I think sometimes we stop listening because we don't want to know the truth. But if you start listening to your intuition, it will lead you to the right direction. And sometimes we have wisdom. I think wisdom is so valuable than knowledge. We could be smart all day and all night, but at the end of the day, if you don't have wisdom of how to walk this journey, you're gonna drown.
Absolutely. You said that so beautifully. I mean, how many interviews have you done? I know people need to reach out to you, but how many interviews have you done first? Have you talked to a lot of people or put yourself out there?
Well, you know what? This is how I got started because I was not the type of person that wanted to be on live. I don't want to do no lives or none of that. But I used to do so many videos last year just talking about candles and just self-care. I did so many videos on my Instagram. It gave me that ability to be like just comfortable talking in front of the camera. So I think I had to get past that first in order for me to get to where I am today. So I've done like, these Instagram lives with collaboration with other entrepreneurs. I've done that in the past, but I feel like this is like a stepping stone. It's allowed me to get to where I need to be. So when those speaking engagements happen, I feel like I'll be ready to, venture over into that area.
Well, I'm gonna make a suggestion to you, girlfriend, because that's what I do. I feel like I was put here on this earth to help people reach their full potential and to
Mhm,
just pull out the best in them that they have. But I just think that you should think about doing a podcast, a therapy bar podcast, and do a session where you go on and you give hints and tips, and then you can plug your product and you can talk about what you do, and you can just go on once a week possibly and just
mhm.
talk about how important self-care is and how important the therapy bar is, and what you have to offer, because you have so much to offer to women out there, because you have definitely encouraged me on this night. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna just drop that nugget on you right now. I think that that is something, because podcasting is really, getting big right now. And I think that you have the right personality, the right heart and the right soul. And I think people will listen to you. And so I really think that that may be something you look into. And you don't even have to be live or on the camera. You can just do a voice recording and put it
Hmm.
on there, because my mindfulness my mindfulness podcast, I haven't even put the interviews on there yet. And just
Hmm.
off of the mindfulness that I do once or twice a week, people
Hmm.
are listening. And I'm just like, oh, I forgot I didn't even put I haven't even started the actual interviews yet. So I
Hmm.
know with what you do, mixed with your passion and your drive, I know you would get a lot of people that will be tuning in to want to hear what you got to say, because you've got some very good knowledge and wisdom that you can pass on to other women out there and men too, because men need therapy and healing. Tell me about that. Do you have any men customers or clients?
I do have a very small percent of men that like candles, that like to, spruce up their house with an aromatherapy candle. But majority of my clientele is women. Women, we love to just relax. We love a good smelling candle. We love a good bubble bath with some nice relaxation music. So I just my whole I would say my audience, the majority of them are women,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why I say I focus on busy professional women, because that's what who gravitates to me more.
Yeah, yeah, and I get that. I get that because um, women are often so doing so much day to day to day, and men feel like, well, I'm okay or whatever. But men like therapy too. Men like self care, and they need it just as much as women. But women think that you are talking to busy professional women that are just these business women. But tell them about the women you actually work with.
Well, I say busy professional women, but women just in general, you don't have to have this fancy, career, professional career. You can just be a caregiver. You could be, a auntie or a wife, but you wear multiple hats. You may be a soccer mom. You may, have the cook and clean. So those are some of the things that when I say busy, you have multiple things that you call busy, but it's on different levels. But you know that at the end of the day, you might not be investing in yourself because you invested all your time in others. So this is what the therapy bar is all about. It's making sure that you acknowledge that you need to take care of yourself, put yourself first before you put others, and it's not being selfish, because at the end of the day, you deserve it. You have to celebrate yourself and celebrate your small and your big wins, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe you can teach a course on how to motivate and encourage others to be their best self. And I definitely would like to collab with you on some things, because you got a lot of information that women need to hear, and the world needs you, Miss Sherri West. So I thank you so much for coming on to Mind Your Business, Mindful Intentions, Nurture and Drive Your Business. You definitely are being mindful, you have intentions, you are nurturing, and you are driving your business. So you are minding your business wholeheartedly. And I commend you, sister. And all too often we don't do that. And that's what I created this platform for. So people like yourself can come on and let your voice be heard. So other people out there can see that, like you said, when you say busy or professional, we all fall into that category in some type of way. And we need more women like you to stand up and carry that torch. So I thank you and I commend you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And then also, I just want to recap. If any of you guys want some amazing aromatherapy candles, if you're on Instagram, follow me at the Therapy Bar Candles. If you're on Facebook, it's the Therapy Bar LLC. So follow me, because I'm going to be coming up with some fall scents. And I know you guys, if you love candles and you love fall scents, especially the holidays, I have some great stocking stuffers for you for candles. So just continue to follow me on this journey of the therapy bar.
Absolutely. And I would love to have you come on some more, because Mondays I usually do Monday mindfulness, and it's
Hmm.
something new that I started. So at 10:35 tonight, I'll do a mindful meditation, and then it's gonna be on self-care. So whoever my guest is, usually on Monday, I usually do a piggyback off of my Monday night mindfulness and my meditation off of that. So our meditation tonight is gonna definitely be on self-care and that holistic healing. So I thank you. But any Monday that you would like to come on, if you want to
Hmm.
come on once a month and just give some tips, you are more than welcome to come. The platform is all yours. I applaud you again for what you do. Get with this young lady right here, because I know we all can relate. We've all been in a position where we feel like we've been depleted and we're down to nothing. But when we feel like we're down to nothing, that's when God is up to something, and He will pull the best out of us, and He will give us a talent. Who'd have thought? Did you ever think you'd be making candles, girl?
Say it again.
I said, did you ever think you'd be making candles?
No, actually, no. I would never imagine, but you know, with how life and things change, you realize that I like to take life, and I don't want to take it too seriously, but I want to be able to hear the voice, and the voice told me that I need to move into another direction in order for me to be able to heal. So with me going into this direction, I was able to heal, and now I'm able to be able to talk and be able to heal others so they know that you can do the same thing. I want it to be a revolving door. The healing doesn't stop with me. It's going to be continued with everybody else.
Absolutely. Someone told me once, and they wrote it down for me, and they put it on my desk. This is when I was working in in the world. I don't work in the world anymore. I work from home. But when I was working, they told me, they said, what you do, what happens to you so that you can help others. And
Hmm.
so when we are going through something and we are hurting and we are sad or we feel like we are broken, it's only because it's building us up so that we can help someone else. And I know that you are touching lives, you are changing hearts, you are opening minds, and you are leading the way for self discovery on this journey that you are on, and self healing holistically. So I thank you again, and I am going to get your products because I would love to do some reviews on them and let people know what you got so they will continue to reach out to you and promote your business and help you to grow more and more. What else would you like to leave with us before we jump off of here?
Thank you so much.
Is there
So,
anything else you'd like to leave for your audience or my audience or anybody else? Anything you want them to know that you might have forgot or you might want to leave with them? And if not, you can always come back and share some more.
well, sure, I'll definitely come back. I'll look at my schedule and see, what it's looking like. But yes, we can connect again. And I really enjoyed the interview. It was very warming and welcoming. And I love, connecting and collaborating with entrepreneurs, especially when it's regarding the same, path that we're trying to go. So anytime I get a chance to, talk and encourage and empower women, that's what I want to do. That's my mission, that's my journey, and I want to continue to allow it to blossom and water it. And we all need to help each other, and that's what it's all about. I don't want to just, be in this bubble. I want to be able to burst other people and allow them to be able to be beautiful butterflies and beautiful flowers.
Amen. Amen. Well, hang out with me for just a minute. I'm gonna get us off of here, and I just want to leave with some encouraging words because I take notes. I take
Okay.
notes during my interview because
Okay.
I like to get information. And what I've learned today is we know self care is not selfish, but it's good for our mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual. It helps us to set healthy boundaries. It helps us to say no with confidence. So when I say no, don't take it personal. Just know that I'm doing my self care and you need to do your self care too. And then this right here, this nugget right here that you dropped, you said you learned what your expectations were. We need to know our expectations because how can anybody know how to treat you or expect what you need if you don't know what you expect of yourself? So let's take that to heart. Let's do some self-care. Self-care is taking a time out, taking a breath, lighting some candles, reading a good book, drinking your favorite drink. It don't have to be an alcoholic beverage or water. It can be either or, whatever is your preference. Eating your favorite meal. Do it in the mind frame of you are doing what's important for you so you can do what you came to do, and that's to serve others. And we got to be healthy to do so. So I commend you again for your service and being a nurse, but not only that, for creating this awesome business that is going to help and heal women on a whole nother level. So thank you, everybody that tuned in and watched tonight. Remember, we are all created with a purpose. So let's go be great. Come on, y'all. We got to get it together before it gets us together. Because I always tell my kids, you're going to learn or you're going to learn, but you're going to learn. So now
Yeah.
let's not learn the hard way. Let's
Yes.
go ahead and do it while we can. Thank
That's
you so
right.
much, Sherry, for being on the show tonight. And like I said, just hang out with me for a minute and we will disconnect. And everybody else, I'll see you tonight at 10:35. Mindful Monday, Monday night mindfulness. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on because I've been doing things, but I'm getting back to it. So meet me tonight, Monday night mindfulness, 10:35 p.m. Eastern, where we will do a mindful meditation on self-care. And then join me on the 21-day mindful journey. You can go to my Instagram page and get the link in the bio, or to Facebook. I put out a post today. Join me at 6:45 a.m. Start your day off right with some mindfulness. And until then, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.